previous one and the one before that. You're
All
looking
right,
for
everyone,
one
give me a
that doesn't
second
make
here.
you
I
look
just
like
want to make
shit.
sure that Leanna's awake. She's not been feeling too well. I want to make sure she's awake because she has to start making dinner. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Now, some of Phil's diehard supporters will still try to say that, oh, come on, dude. Sure, he's still a little bit of a manchild. He still has some growing up to do, but he's a lot better than he was back then.
What was for dinner? Egg salad. Because my wife is sick and couldn't make anything elaborate, so she just whipped up some egg salad, which I had on Texas toast. That was dinner.
Dsp Tries it.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Dsp Tries It, Being a Man-Child. And today we're going to go through Phil's history of being a lazy, spoiled brat when it comes to cooking. And the first video we're going to go into is a classic one from 2015. And even though the live stream on Phil's channel is gone, and it's still archived in Mr. Mediker's reaction to it, as he was reacting to a series of clips from 2015 and 2016. And the first one is going to be a little dilemma that Phil was running into, because when he was live streaming, it was Star Wars Battlefront, his girlfriend was sick, and she was getting rest in bed. But it was dinner time. So how do you think Phil would solve this problem?
Previous one and the one before that. You're
All
looking
right,
for
everyone,
one
give me a
that doesn't
second
make
here.
you
I
look
just
like
want to make
shit.
sure that Leanna's awake. She's not been feeling too well. I want to make sure she's awake because she has to start making dinner. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Are you fucking kidding me? Did he just say his girlfriend's sick, but he's got to go wake her up to make sure she can cook his fat ass dinner? Holy shit, what an irredeemable piece of crap.
Yeah, I don't need to add anything more to that. That's pretty amazing. It's safe to say that most of you watching would never, including myself, we would never have the balls to do something like that. To ask our sick partner or another sick family member to cook us dinner when we are fully capable of doing it ourselves. And even if you're really not that good of a cook, you could just take the lazy way out and just open a can of chicken noodle soup or a can of chili, heat it up on the stovetop or in the microwave, and you're good to go. But to no one's surprise, even if you know nothing about Phil, it shouldn't be shocking to you that less than 2 years later, Leanna dumped his ass. And as a result of that, Phil was pretty upset about this. Now, why was he upset? Was he upset because he missed Leanna, because he was sad that it didn't work out? No, it turns out the real reason he was upset, as he says in this live stream, is because now he has to cook dinner himself.
My sleep schedule is still all screwed up. And in addition to that, my eating is all screwed up. Because of all the life changes that happened to me this year. It wasn't an easy thing. In particular, the one major change that's really screwed everything up for me is that I don't have anyone cooking dinner for me anymore. I don't really have time to make any kind of complex dishes or anything like that. Because I just don't have the time. I finish my stream around 5 p.m. and then I'm back on stream around 7:30. So I only have about 2 hours because it takes about half an hour or more to get those videos uploaded. I don't have anyone else to lean on anymore or anyone to help me with anything. So it's been pretty stressful. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, now that Phil's whining session is over, now we can break this down here. I mean, first off, yeah, not saying that you miss her or anything. Yeah, that does make you look like a bit of a dick in the eyes of your viewers. But number two, one that's just absolutely astounding to me, is that he literally said he has a 2-hour break in between streams, and he says 2 hours is not enough time to make yourself dinner. Like, what? Like, what the fuck are you trying to cook? Like the most basic things, like just making pasta. At most, it takes you an hour. At most, and then maybe and then I mean, come on, that's just ridiculous. And that's if it's taking you really forever. I mean, you could just cook. I mean, come on, just throw yourself together a sandwich and a salad, or just open up a can of sweet peas or something. There you go. There you go. You got a nice healthy dinner. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, it's 2 hours is not enough time. It's just total bullshit. Now let's get to the part where Phil gets called out on this for saying 2 hours is not enough time to make dinner.
Of course, now we got to get someone in the stream chat who wants to turn their own personal story into, derailing the chat, and I'm not going to put up with it, so I'm just going to warn you right now, War Dog Leader, there's no way for us to know if what you're saying in the stream chat is legitimate or not. You could be someone completely making stuff up, or you could be completely legitimate. appreciate the sentiment and sorry to hear about a family member that passed away, but no one wants to hear you make this about how I'm in the wrong for being stressed in my life because you have a situation that's worse. That's ridiculous. Go run your own stream if you want to do that. We don't, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to make me look like a villain because he says someone passed away and he's doing better than me. Wow. Well, good for you. Maybe you're a stronger human than me. Then maybe you're a better person than me. Good for you. Go run your own stream and everyone could go watch it. This is my stream. People want to know why I wasn't here, and I'm being honest. And I'm not gonna have someone come in here and now try to make me look fucking bad on a stream that's my gameplay stream. That's for me to share my what's going on with me with you. Oh, well, my life is worse than yours and I'm better than you. Well, good for fucking you. Go on your fucking pedestal. You know, go bronze yourself and make a fucking statue to your greatness because you can do better with meals when you have something worse than what's going on with me. Like, what the fuck? Seriously. Get the fuck out of here, man. That is so fucked up that people would do that. Go ahead. You know what? Officially for tonight's stream, you are the king of suffering.
Basically, to put it in more context, what I was going on about, right, was for about 15 to maybe 20 minutes of Phil's pre-stream, he had done nothing but complain about how he can't make meals and stuff like that. Oh, I haven't got time for him. I'm thinking, wait a minute. You have a 2-hour gap between your morning stream and your night stream. I was saying, look, I just lost my brother. You know, I'm still able to fucking function.
Mhm.
I'm still able to go and make my own meals. And it was basically a whole of this motherfucker is sitting here bitching and whining that he cannot make pasta. It was fucking pasta.
Right.
He was going on so long about fucking pasta. And I was making things like you can go make eggs and toast, you can make cheese and toast, you can get fucking packet noodles. But he's complaining that he can't eat. And then he's saying, oh, I don't get to sleep until fucking midnight, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't even trying to make it that I have it worse. I was just pointing out, you know, I've had something worse happen, and I'm still functioning.
And remember, this whole tirade started just because a viewer asked him a question. He just said, hey, my brother passed away, but I can still cook stuff. He's like, hey, what's wrong with some cheese on toast or some eggs or something simple as that? Why does it have to be super elaborate meals? But some would probably try to argue well, come on, dude. Phil's live streaming, he doesn't really have enough time, or like his schedule can get pretty messy and stuff. So he can't just stop his stream or take breaks in order to, you know, cook some food or to get food ready for dinner. You know, that's an unreasonable demand. However, back in 2014, Phil was doing exactly that. And some older Phil veterans, like Almighty Tevin, might remember this, like I did when I was there. This special event he called his Saucy Sundays. And to explain what Saucy Sundays is, I'll let Phil explain as he was gearing up for this upcoming event.
So that being said, this Sunday is actually going to be another Saucy Sunday. And you may say, what the hell is that? Well, 3 weeks ago, I made a pot of Italian homemade sauce. And I filmed the whole process. And I uploaded all those vlogs to my YouTube channel, The King of Hate Vlogs. And people seemed to really enjoy it. The fact that I was sharing my know-how and my cooking skills and my family recipes with you guys, all right? I'm doing it again a week from today. And so what that means is going to be like I did last time. Play Street Fighter for 20 minutes, go on a break, go stir the sauce. Play Street Fighter, go stir the sauce. So that's what it's going to be like next weekend.
So now that we've seen Phil explain his Saucy Sunday events, we see that, first off, aside from his great sales pitch being that in order to try to build up hype for a live stream, he's going to do less live streaming on that day by taking breaks and stuff. Aside from that being a garbage sales pitch, we can see that Phil is fully willing and capable of taking short breaks during streams in order to do food prep for dinner. So his whole argument that he doesn't have enough time is just even more nonsensical at that point. Okay, with that train wreck out of the way, now we're going to jump ahead to 2022, years after he got married to his now wife, Kat. And this was around the time when he was, you know, really ramping up the begging for money, saying, I'm in dire straits, I can barely afford to, you know, pay my bills and stuff. While at the same time, he was wasting money every week on DoorDash. And people started asking him, hey, Phil, if you're really in dire straits, Wouldn't you save money by, not going out once a week and blowing, what, $50, $60, and then saving that money by cooking at home or getting some meals that are cheaper at home? And Phil has a total meltdown about this, and he shows just how entitled he really is. Let's watch.
Lancaster Wilson did a $5 super chat saying, why do you have to go every week to eat? Wouldn't you save money by eating at home? All right, so Lancaster, it's obvious you wouldn't understand this because the fact you're asking the question just proves the point that you have no idea what you're talking about, all right? When you were married, okay, you like to maybe spend some time with your significant other, okay? I get to spend a little bit of time with my wife every day. Usually I see her first thing in the morning for a little bit. Then I'm on stream all day. Maybe during a break I get to see her. Some days I'm lucky enough to see her for dinner at home. Some days I'm not. Today, I'm literally eating leftovers because she's at work. I won't get to see her until late at night tonight when she gets home. Then I'll get to see her for maybe an hour and a half, and then we go to sleep, okay? So in a whole given day, some days I'm lucky I get to see my wife a little more. Some days I don't get to see her much at all, all right? Once a week, I get a day off with my wife. Now, all week long, we've been working, not spending time with each other, or rushing to get things done, and we've been cooking and eating food at home all week long. All the meals, okay? Once a week, I get an opportunity to essentially spend some special time with my wife and maybe go out and do something with her, like have a meal outside of the home. It's basically like a date time. You know what I'm saying? Like once a week, you get to maybe go on like a little small date with my wife. Now, ideally, sadly, it's not what I want. I want us to have a whole day where we can just do fun stuff together and have a real date day. We don't. Since I only have one day off a week, I have to cram in everything I need to get done off stream in one day. That includes grocery shopping, any kind of appointments, whether they be doctor appointments, legal appointments, bank appointments, whatever it may be. All those appointments have to happen on this day. Buying supplies for Jasper, our pet. Buying other supplies and things for the home. If something breaks down this week, if we run out of something this week and we have to go somewhere to get it, we have to do that all on our day off. All in all, day that I consider a day off from streaming, probably about 75% of that day is running around doing shit that really isn't fun. It's busy work. It's things you have to do when you're an adult, but preferably you'd like to do it not when you're trying to have time with your family. You see? But I have to because that's the only time I get off. So 25% of one day a week, I actually get to do something nice with my wife. We would prefer to go have a meal outside of the home or maybe order a meal in rather than have to cook again and have another meal at home, which isn't special. It's the same as what we do every day, all week long. Okay? So, it's not just, oh, you eat out every week, once a week, you're spending money, you don't have money. It's our time together once a week.
Okay. First off, notice how he twists it. Notice how notice how Phil moves the goalpost, which is ironic because he always accuses everyone else of moving the goalpost. Phil moves the goalpost because the original question was, why do you have to spend money on DoorDash and dining once a week? But now Phil moves the goalpost to, well, I want to spend time with my wife once a week. So right there, he's already manipulating it to make himself look better. It's like no one is saying you can't spend time with your wife.
It's literally like the one thing we get to do special once a week. So now you're saying get rid of that too, okay? So here's what I have to say to you. Fuck you. You're a fucking stupid idiot. You're here to criticize when you don't understand anything, and what you're saying has no meaning. What you're trying to do is act like I'm some kind of an irresponsible, overspending idiot, and that's why I'm in the situation I'm in. You don't know, you don't live it. You're a scumbag for even asking the dumb question, really.
What we're saying is you can't afford to spend money every week if you have to beg for money to pay your bills. That's number one. And number two, he said that, oh, eating at home and stuff, it's not really special, and therefore I have to spend this $50, $60 a week on DoorDash or on dining in order to do something special, which is complete nonsense. There's so many things you could do that are special. It's like you could go to an art exhibit, which is relatively cheap compared to like 50, $60 at DoorDash. You could just, whip up you could cook some like sandwiches or something simple and then go to a park and have a picnic. That would be awesome, especially when it's warm outside and it's like a nice summer day or something like that. Why not do that? Or you could just get like some of those pre-made takeaway meals at like a supermarket, like roasted chicken, or sometimes they have fresh soups. It's like, wouldn't that be decent? And again, you can always take it out. You can always take it to like a park or whatever. I mean, why not do that?
And even if, oh, I didn't mean it that way. You're a fucking intrusive jerk. Why would you even ask that question? Why are you implying that I don't know how to fucking handle myself in my life? It's not your fucking business to ask it on a streamer's stream and to derail the fucking stream. I have to tell a story because you're an idiot, okay? So go fuck yourself. I don't need your super chat. I don't need your dumb questions. You're gonna insult me on my fucking stream. I've already answered this question a million times in the past, by the way. But you gotta come and ask it again, right? So fuck off and don't ask stupid questions on my stream that are gonna piss me off, okay? Yes, I deserve once a week to spend 25% of one day doing something nice with my wife. I do deserve that, yes.
Why do you have to spend $50 a week, which is about $200 a month, if not more, on dining, just to have a meal with your wife and just spend time with her? Hell, if you want to spend time with her, play board games, or just hey, read a book together. Why do you have to do this? I mean, come on. Oh, jeez. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Well, anyway, I've talked enough on that issue. Let's move on, because now we're gonna get to another hilarious moment of him being just, yeah, just being ridiculously irresponsible. And this is regards to trying to get a late night snack from McDonald's in 2024. Let's watch.
Guess what happens with these delivery services? I guess they check availability. They see how busy a restaurant is, and sometimes if it's a slower version, it's the same restaurant. You'll get food from a. This has happened with like even McDonald's, where there'll be nighttime, you're craving something. Man, I'm really craving a McDonald's cheeseburger. Let's just toss in a quick order. And this is rare. Maybe once a year we'll do something like this, and we're like, let's just put an order in. Now there's a McDonald's right around the corner that's really good. So we place the order. Oh, they decided to deliver from McDonald's from downtown, which is shitty. And the food shows up and it's messed up and it's cold and it's dry and it's disgusting. And we're like, well, we don't want McDonald's from downtown. I want McDonald's from around the corner. Why they deliver from downtown when both are open? I don't know. These delivery services, sadly, you don't get to kind of choose where you want stuff delivered from, which kind of sucks. Just various things. Nothing special. But like I said, we did start planning and preparing for this upcoming marathon event, which was good. So that's really it. Nothing too crazy, because everyone asks, you know, what did you do on your day off? It's funny because we already got people being stupid in the chat. Like, for example, two idiots, I mean idiots, say, well, if the McDonald's right around the corner, why don't you just drive there and pick it up to save money? I literally just said at night, late at night. At fucking night. You know, it's like 11 p.m. or something you want to snack. No, I'm not going to throw clothes on, put on my fucking shoes and sneakers and drive out to McDonald's. That's the convenience of ordering. But again, people have to nitpick everything I say to try to say, why'd you do it wrong? Well, fuck you. I didn't do it wrong. It's something a normal person would fucking do. And once a year you crave something, you order out. It's 11 at night, you stupid idiot.
Okay, yeah, where do I fucking start with this? First off, his excuse is so nonsensical of saying, it's 11 o'clock at night, I'm not gonna throw clothes on to go out and drive there. What are you implying there, Phil? Are you implying that, at 11 o'clock at night you just walk around the house naked? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, most likely just put some shoes on or put some socks and shoes on and a jacket, and there you go, you're all set. And it's like, oh, it's the convenience of ordering. It's like, oh, at 11 o'clock at night, you're craving a snack. Well, is there anything wrong with just, pulling some Hot Pockets out of the freezer or a chicken pot pie? What's wrong with that? Wouldn't that be more convenient and even faster than getting delivery? And especially Hot Pockets, like the pizza flavor ones, they taste pretty nice. Or like you can have some frozen chicken nuggets in the freezer. You just, put them in the oven, or like if you're really short on time, put them in the microwave, and boom, put some condiments on there, and you're all set. Oh, jeez. And especially when you consider his schedule, is because he typically, according to his own statements, he tries to wake up at like 9 a.m. So why the fuck are you Why the fuck are you gonna eat McDonald's at 11 o'clock at night, like an hour before you go to bed? Oh, gee, yeah. It's like, yeah. And this guy is always talking about how he's a mature adult and everything, and yet he's acting exactly how I would have acted when I was like a teenager, or like when I was in college, when I was like 20 or something like that. He's acting like such a man child. It's amazing. Now, some of Phil's diehard supporters will still try to say that, oh, come on, dude. Sure, he's still a little bit of a man child. He still has some growing up to do, but he's a lot better than he was back then. At least nowadays, he's not asking his woman to, cook dinner when she's sick. At least he's not doing that, right? Well, you would be wrong, because that's exactly what he did last year.
What was for dinner? Egg salad. Because my wife is sick and couldn't make anything elaborate, so she just whipped up some egg salad, which I had on Texas toast. That was dinner.
All right, now not only is this much worse than the first time in 2015 when he pulled a stunt like this, because not only now because he's had past experiences of getting backlash, but also because now this is not his girlfriend anymore. Now this is his wife, who he's promised to take care of in, as the wedding vows go, more or less in sickness and in health. But also, what makes this even worse is that Phil tried to cover it up, because this happened on his gameplay on July 25th. And strangely enough, something weird goes on if you actually look at his playlist of Stardew Valley. So for those unfamiliar with Darkside Phil's, content creation, his methodology of how he makes content, is that when he is doing a live stream, he will also be simultaneously recording it as well, which is a feature you can easily do on OBS, and for most computers, it's not that big of an issue. Especially if you have a good processor and a good graphics card like Phil has had throughout most of his live streaming career. And so what this allows him to do is that this allows him two ways in which he can cover up bad moments or controversies that he doesn't want his on-demand viewers to see. And one way he does this is by is by having a lot of his bitching and moaning segments on an unrecorded segment, as it's called, which is to where he basically stops recording, and then all the stuff that's already recorded, that's going to be the next part that's going to be in the YouTube videos and the playlists, and then the people on but he'll still be live streaming. So then he'll feel more comfortable taking the mask off and doing pity parties and hardcore begging segments and being much more likely to say something stupid that he would later regret. But it would only be the live streaming audience that would see it, the few hundred people that would see it. Everybody who was only watching his videos on demand, like a day or two later, they wouldn't see whatever the controversial thing was if they're only watching Phil's content. So that's the number one way. And the second way is that when the live stream is over, instead of just having the live stream basically archived and publicly available on his channel, he then will usually private or delete the live stream entirely. And therefore, it destroys any evidence of the wrongdoing on Phil's own channel. Those are the two major ways in which we see this going on. And also, when Phil's done live streaming at the end of the day, he will then upload all of those videos that he's been doing, the whole stop record and start record. He'll just upload all that stuff to YouTube and put thumbnails and all the stuff, so that way by the end of the day, all the videos are uploaded and he's good to go. But we do see evidence of a cover-up in this case of his controversy of him making his sick wife cook him dinner. And we see it because he was doing Stardew Valley at the time, on July 25th, 2024. And now we're going to see a couple screenshots that come directly from Phil's playlist that he put together himself. And here we can see we see evidence of this cover-up. Okay, so we know that the clip in question about him making his wife cook him dinner when he's sick happened on July 25th, 2024. But if you look at this shot right here, we see part 24 of his playthrough was on July 23rd. And then if we look at the next part, part 25, it was uploaded on July 26, 24. A whole day afterwards. And so that means that the clip from July 25th is completely missing from his playlist. Very suspicious. And so most likely what happened is that Phil probably started seeing backlash from this, and as a result, he immediately panicked and went back, and he probably either deleted that piece of it or just deleted that whole section of the video entirely to try and cover his tracks. Okay, and one final thing we're going to cover before we wrap up the video is we're going to circle back to the part about him saying he wants one meal out with his wife. We're gonna put this to bed once and for all. Because I understand not wanting to cook for yourself. I can be lazy at times as well. But you don't have to go to a restaurant and spend 50, 60 bucks in order to get a meal just in the lazy way. And we're going to show this right here. Because Phil has mentioned that he lives near Seattle, and we know now he lives in the small suburban area of Renton. And he also has repeatedly talked about how he loves shopping at the supermarket chain Fred Meyer. So with that in mind, we're going to put together two simple, lazy meal plans for him. That'll cost him probably like half the price of what he's paying now for his quote-unquote one meal with his wife. Let's get into it. Okay, we are currently on the Fred Meyer website, and the first meal we're going to give him is going to be a chicken dinner. It's going to be a 3-course meal. As you can see here, you can get a chicken for like 11 bucks. No big deal. And we're also going to give him, as a side, we're going to give him just a couple cans of sweet peas. You can also substitute it with corn or green beans or any other canned vegetables for like $1 a piece. So we'll have one can for each of them. So that's going to be, as of now, it's going to be 13 bucks. And we're also going to throw in some dessert, which is going to be, we're going to have some nice little brownies over here for about, $6 and change or so. And we're also going to throw in a salad. And you can easily just get a bag salad, some Italian dressing with it. Very simple stuff, easy to make. And all of this stuff, the most you need to do is just open up a can or a jar, or just get some scissors, open up the bag of salad. Nice and easy. It's the kind of thing that I do all the time when I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to really do anything with my day. I just want to sit back and relax. It's nice and easy. And we're just going to crunch the numbers here. And yeah, compared to spending 50, 60 bucks a week on like DoorDash or something else, yeah, this is going to be much cheaper. It's going to be a walk in the park. As you see, the budget for our first meal plan is 26 bucks and change. And even if you factored in like a little bit of sales tax, which most states don't have, it's still going to be less than half of what you're spending 50, 60 bucks a week at a restaurant. The second meal plan is going to be almost identical, except we're going to use some cooked shrimp, to where you can get a pound of shrimp for like about $9. And then if we just punch in the numbers for everything else, for the salad, the dressing, everything else, it's going to be, yeah, it's still going to be relatively cheap. And also one little aside here, for the chicken one is that it's $11 for 2 pounds of chicken. So they easily have enough for like lunch or dinner the next day. As you can see right there, it's like 25 bucks and change. So as we can see right here, just doing anything close to like one of these two meal plans, it could easily save him like a good like 25 or 30 bucks a week. So that's easily like 100 bucks a month he could be saving just by this one simple change in his life. And it would require pretty much no effort on his part or the part of his wife, and he could take it and he could take that with him to the mall or to a park, whatever, and then have a nice meal with his wife and have it be, some more or less special. Okay, I think that's a good place to wrap up. And I think you can see, and these are just a handful of the dozens of examples over the years of Phil just being a lazy man child and also being irresponsible with money, which, yeah, not going to go into that. I could talk about that for hours. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really liked it, yeah, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out for more.
Dsp Tries.